Hey everybody, it's Rob here. We finally got some hotfixes for the live Season 6 here. We got hotfixes for the Sorcerer dealing infinite damage. We have changes to the Horadri powers here. We have changes to the Horadri Portals that are coming, as well as various stability improvements. And we have some pretty crazy new bugs that have been popping up here on the leaderboards, allowing Spiritborn to do 123 now, going completely crazy. But the most important thing is, guys, fixed an issue here just an hour ago. Fixed an issue here where interacting between Infusion Jewels and Enlightenment. This is the key passive on the Sorc. We're in-game here. Enlightenment is this key passive, for those of you that don't know. It was basically allowing players to stack infinite damage up here. And this has now been addressed. You guys might have seen this. I've shared this video here before. Like, this did infinite damage. There was even people like Mekuna, I think, did 150 on a completely naked character. This was obviously very bugged, and you had like a 10 gazillion damage. It was doing negative damage here on the live game. And this was the interaction here between the Infusion Jewel. So this Infusion Jewel here that people were using, the Smoldering Ember, and then with the Enlightenment key passive and basically stacking it up in different ways. There was also some stuff with elemental aspect being involved. This has been addressed now, and that's a really good, finally. Like, we have had this like for a couple seasons now, and it went even completely ridiculous, where here is a run where Mekuna is basically doing this 150 here on a completely naked character. This was on a Sorcerer here, completely without gear. And you see he's just like hitting the monsters here for negative damage. He only is using a level 1 weapon. This is how crazy this was. Basically, like, this is also the proof. All you need is damage, guys, to clear these pits, because he's doing a negative 9 gazillion damage. And with that, he basically manages to take down here, like, without dying, like he would be one shot. But he managed to take down, I'll link this video below. Basically managed to take down the final pit tier of 150 here. And yeah, I'm happy that this is gone, and I'm also happy that they managed to you know, nerf or like fix this bug without nerfing the fun away from the normal Hydra build. I was like very concerned that maybe with this like bug fixes, that the Hydra build, the one that I've been showcasing here, the one that I think people were having like the most fun with, would have been like negatively impacted by some of the nerfs. But this is not the case. Like, Hydra, I'll show you here in a second, is functioning completely normal. But this was still a pretty crazy thing to do, doing the 150 without any gear. And that's why I'm so happy that this bug has been fixed, because this basically completely invalidated all of the character progression. Any like amount of power that your character would be getting was completely irrelevant with this bug, because like it was just like, as you can see here, with a naked character doing completely infinite damage. And yeah, he manages to take down this pit here, basically just keeping a range, because if he gets hit, he has like 1 HP, he would be instantly one shot. And she just keeps the distance, and you can kind of see like here the crazy damage numbers. And this is not possible anymore. And it's going to be the same thing here on the boss. So you can see like they have to like wait for this Enlightenment, and there was like a lot of shenanigans. Like, I'll link this video from Mekuna below, you can check it out. But yeah, you see here the boss, like he also boom just kills the boss, and that's a pit 150. And now if he opens his gear, not gonna do any skips here or anything, but he was basically completely, yeah, this is his character, like 80 attack power with 0 armor, no gear equipped, and this is his weapon, level 12 or 12 item power, 9 damage per second. This is how he did the hardest pit 150 with nothing, basically, like completely naked pit 150. I'll link this as well. So this completely gone. They fixed this. Thank God. This was not healthy for the game. I would have still loved to see this hotfix obviously happen a bit faster, but I'm just happy that it's fixed now and it's gone. And you know, like, you still have this like normal Hydra build here that we've been rocking. That you can still play like normally. You can just basically go in here, and the Hydras completely remain unaffected. You can basically just go, and your Hydras are still gonna, you know, like kill everything here. And this works like in like high pits as well, and this works in all the content, and the Hydras look amazing. I just kind of wish that they would do changes to the pets of all the other classes. For example, the Necromancer and the Skeletons. I would love to see the Necromancer and all the other classes and pets getting as smart and as aggressive, as mean as these Hydras are. Because you see, you place them, and they significantly improve the AI. They just murder everything instantly. So those Hydras are really smart, and it's really, you know, a pleasure playing with these Hydras. And you can even play them in like ultra speed runs. You just basically go and you summon them, and they will kill all the monsters for you. You see, like everything will just die. And we basically already killed like all the demons here. So I wish we get some similar treatment to, you know, the other pets, especially to the pet class, the Necromancer. But we have not seen this so far. Anyways, in other news here, they reduced the rate in which the Cosmic Anomaly. This is also one of the powers that we play here. This is the one that gives you, you know, the extra summons. It has a summon tag, and it's very useful for the sorcerer, because with the summon tag and the primordial binding key path, you can get a bunch of mana regeneration. You can get a bunch of summon damage. You can kind of see this here, like as soon as I place my Hydras, like how fast my mana regenerates. Like if I'm just going here with all this anomaly and all these pets that I have, my mana just instantly regenerates. And also this was only in the bugged version with projectiles. So I'm using this in combination here, the Horadri Spellcraft with the Hydra, and this has not really been negatively affected either, so the Cosmic Anomaly for the Hydra Sorc is also fine. But for projectiles, there was some bugs with it where it was proccing too much, and it can also only proc once per activation of a skill cast, which is pretty normal. Like, we constantly recast Hydras in the Sorc build anyways, so that's completely fine. But that's another thing that they changed here. And then what we have as well here is they fixed an issue where the Horadri Portals and Horadri Strongrooms were difficult to interact with, right? So if I'm going in here and we're just going to be opening like any of the Horadri Strongrooms here, that or any of the keys here that have a Horadri Strongroom, basically, like this one. So basically just go into the dungeon, and then there was a problem whenever you opened the Strongroom that you couldn't click it in the start. It was like very annoying, very tedious to click the portal. So we're just going here, we basically just start blasting on the Hydra Sorc, and boom, then we already get it. So whenever this one spawns, so you can click it, of course. Like, click it normally. And it used to be very annoying to click this portal. Like, you could basically not for the life of you click it instantly. But what happens now is when you click here, so we're just getting this like instantly done. And then when the portal spawns, now we'll be able to instantly go in. I'm going to try to go in like immediately. So boom, you see, like it's going to significantly speed up the entire process basically of getting in there. Obviously, you still have to go through this loading screen. But then you can just like, you know, place the Hydras and they're going to like get everything here. So that's another really good change here that they did, where you can instantly click those portals and don't get annoyed by them like too crazy much. So that's really good. And then, like, in general, there's stability improvement. So this was the patch so far. I'm going to link this hotfix here below. So that's pretty cool to see. I still would have loved to see this, like, bug fix a bit more, like, you know, faster. But we got it now. There's still no addressment for the Lilith bug. So many of you have asked me, like, how to basically get the sparks from Lilith. We've been trying to do some carry runs here to get the sparks. You get a resplendent spark when you kill Lilith, guaranteed. But there is a bug here that you can see in this video here, where Lilith is basically not able to die, right? Like, you just have to do a T1 Lilith kill to get the spark. But a lot of people cannot get Lilith on T1 because she just indefinitely phases around and does her waves without coming out of the immortality phase. And there has sadly not been a hotfix for this. I hope this is still coming. But there is a bit of a workaround where you can just scuff your damage to deal like very, very little amount of damage to Lilith. And that way you can still manage to kill her by just doing no damage, basically. So what you can do, for example, on the Sorcerer, when you go to Lilith, I can do this real quick. Hopefully it's not going to bug out immediately. Okay, we don't even have the waypoint. Okay, whatever. But you basically just go there and you cast some ball lightnings on her. Like, don't cast any Hydras if you're doing this on a Sorc, for example. And then it can become very comfortable to kill her with and face her without, you know, you dealing all this damage. Just don't deal a lot of damage to it, and it's gonna be fine, right? Then in other news, so hopefully there's gonna be a fix coming for that, hopefully. Then in other news, there's a new bug that is emerging here on the Spiritborn. You may have seen this on the leaderboards. Barbarian is back to the last place, where it seems to sadly belong this season. So Barb and Rogue are by far the worst class. Looking at the tier list again, they are like, you know, 7 tiers behind the next class. And then they are like, you know, a total of 20 tiers behind the number 1 here, the Spiritborn. And you might see in this clip, there's a new bug. So we already talked about double dipping on the main Jaguar Hall. That's the first bug. The second bug is double dipping on the Fell Slayer. And apparently now there is a third bug. Watch what happens here in this clear. So you might see here, like, he had 8 minutes for the boss. 8 minutes for this boss fight. And he only managed to take it down to like 40% HP. But watch here what happens in the last second. So he's basically playing the Thorn Spiritborn. And there's a new bug where he can execute the boss. So you can see he's like basically not dealing any damage to this boss whatsoever. Like in this like 30 seconds that we're watching here. But watch what happens. So it's coming here in a second. So the boss is going to this threshold. And for some reason, boom. Did you miss it? He can just execute the boss. I'm not sure how this exactly is done. Like, but you can basically see here, like, this is like an insane long fight. Like, he fights this boss forever. And he basically ZDPS. I mean, you know, he still does damage. But in 3 minutes, he managed to take down 20%. And then at the very end here, like, somehow with some interaction, like, he just one-shots him. I don't know exactly what this bug is. Like, you let me know in the comments if you know exactly how this works or any hints, because you're normally not supposed to execute the boss. And yeah, he just one-shots him. Like, this boss, this is like hundreds of trillions of HP, which he just bloop, dead. So they're probably going to go even higher with this, because yeah, he only had 10 seconds left. But he was fighting this boss for 8 minutes. So without this bug, he would have never cleared this. And then obviously there's all the other bugs that are interacting here with the Fell Slayer, with the Jaguar double dip here. So we have one bug on the Sorcerer fixed. But there are like quite a few more bugs here that allows the Spiritborn basically to be 10 tiers higher than the other classes. And then 20 tiers higher than the Rogue and the Barb. And keep in mind, guys, this 20 pit tiers we're talking about. I don't know what the current life scaling is. They changed it so many times. But it seems to be about 20%. So if we're looking at the tier list here, in order to go from, you know, where the Barb is clearing and where the Spiritborn is clearing, you need to go 20 tiers. And I think the HP increase is roughly 25% per tier. So the Spiritborn is doing more than 100 times the damage of a Barbarian. Like, your Barb is doing 1% of the damage. So even if you have 100 Barbs, 100 Barbarians playing the best meta build with the best gear, only 100 Barbs can match the damage of one of these Spiritborn double dipping, penta dipping, execute bugs. So yeah, the Sorcerer bug has been fixed. I'm just really hoping to see, like, you know, some more bug fixes and maybe even like some mid-season balance patch to iron this out a bit. Like last season, we kind of had like a better balance. Like now we had the Spiritborn being bugged 20 tiers ahead. Obviously, we had the Sorc being bugged in 150 naked. But there's still, like, I think, a lot of room to work with to achieve a good class balance. We definitely feel Rogue and Barb are behind the pack, so they need a 10 tier buff. And Spiritborn needs a bug fix at some point. I mean, it's great to see Spiritborn strong, but it's just like, you know, 100 times stronger than all the other classes again. And these are all like similar bugs, the Jaguar Hall and the Fell Slayer. You might remember this aspect. These are all similar bugs to what we already were experiencing back in last year in October when the Spiritborn came out. But yeah, this is still great to see these hotfixes. And I hope there are more coming. Let me know what you think in the comments. And I'll see you soon, my friends. Take it easy. GG. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe, leave a like or a comment. I'm also live on Twitch almost every day, so come and say hi.